We just hit 14 days on the carnivore diet. Now, I haven't cheated once, not once. Now, I gave you guys my first 7-day update. If you guys want to check that out, go check it out after this. Today is the second week update. Now, it's been better. Not as much up and downs. The up and downs came from stepping on the scale. And we'll get into that later, right? Because the scale has literally been up and down, right? But feeling wise, I feel better, y'all. Like I said, it's up and down. You know, 1 hour, I'll feel great. The next hour, I feel bloated. I feel nasty. And I think to myself, like, because I've done keto before, and I'm like, damn, 14 days on keto, I feel like Superman. Like, why don't I feel that way? Like, I've been wanting, like, thinking to switch to keto. I've been thinking, like, I know when I would do keto for like 4 or 5 days, I feel like Superman, right? So I'm like, maybe this just isn't good for me. Maybe it's not good. And then, you know what? The next hour, I feel great, right? I feel great. But, so, I cut dairy out, y'all. I was eating a lot of heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I cut that out. I drink my coffee black every morning now. I used to make like carnivore pizza. You know, I would get some mozzarella cheese and just melt it on the pan and have like, taste like mozzarella sticks, right? I cut that out. So all I'm eating now is steak, chicken wings, pork chops, bacon, and eggs. Another thing I cut out, which you don't hear a lot on here. You do not hear this in the carnivore community. I cut out extra sodium. I cut that out, y'all. Like I said before in my last video, I started putting tahini on ice. And honestly, you know, like, say when you eat some sunflower seeds, right? You feel nasty. You feel bloated, your mouth feels nasty. Like, that's how I was feeling eating extra salt. So I cut that out, y'all. Since then, I've been feeling better. I've been feeling a lot better. So I've naturally always drank a lot of water, just naturally. I've always been a water drinker. Water is not hard for me to drink, right? I drink like a gallon a day. Naturally, right? That's just what I do. So, you know, I just told myself, if you feel tired, if you feel sluggish, if your brain feels off, you know, have a cup of bouillon or something, right? But I haven't needed that for like 3 days now. So that's my thing. Now, you don't hear that ever. Everyone says heavy, salt your stuff, heavy. I'm energized. I don't have crashes, none of that since cutting out the salt. With the salt, like I said, I felt nasty. The scale wasn't participating with me. Now, that first week, I lost 6 pounds, right? I was feeling good, up and down last week. This week, something changed with me, y'all. Something changed in my mind. Like, I wanted to weigh myself only on Fridays, but I got a bad relationship with the scale, right? So I even tried to put the scale in the garage. Still ended up in my kitchen, right? So I got the scale downstairs now. So I stepped on the scale. You know, you have to step on the scale and let it go, and then it'll tell you. So I stepped on the scale twice, y'all. First time, I stepped right off. I didn't even let it finish. I was like, oh, I gained weight. And I got upset, right? I got upset. I got grumpy. You know, I kind of let it take over my whole day. So I told myself, you know, I'm not going to weigh myself no more. Well, guess what? 2 days later, I did it again. But this time, when I gained, it did something to me mentally. And that's what I like about this carnivore diet. This time, I was like, okay, let me figure out the problem. Let me figure out why I'm gaining weight, why I don't feel good, right? So I cut out dairy. Well, I cut out the dairy the day before, but I kept cutting out dairy. I lowered my salt intake. So it's been 2 days since then. And guess what? I dropped 3 pounds, y'all. So I've dropped a total of 9 pounds, right? The past 2 days, I dropped 1.5 pounds each day. So in 2 weeks, 14 days, I've dropped 9 pounds. So it was just weird how usually when I step on the scale and I gain, like I get grumpy, I get mad, I even fall off. But with this time around, I haven't had that thought to be like, screw it, I'm gonna go eat whatever, like I usually do if I gain weight like that. So, but this last time, y'all, something triggered in my mind where I was like, this motivated me. This made me angry, but in a good way. I was like, all right, you want to play? Let's figure it out then. Let's figure it out. It was weird how it clicked in my mind, y'all. It was weird. So that's what I'm doing now, y'all. But how I feel, like honestly, I feel like when I triggered that thought, that's when everything switched for me. That's when I'm kind of said like, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not in this for a week and it's over, right? I'm in this, you know, with no end in sight. But it really did something to me when I stepped on the scale that last time. And since then, I quit stressing so much about weight. I started, you know, paying attention to how I feel. And honestly, like these past couple days, I feel like I got some momentum. Now, yesterday, on day 13, I did have some cravings. But I made the mistake and let myself get hungry. I ate breakfast, which was, I don't even remember what I ate for, I just ate a piece of sausage and some bacon for breakfast, right? And then I skipped lunch. I made homemade jerky. So I'll say I had some jerky for lunch, but I should have ate my ground beef I had in the refrigerator, right? I should have, and that would have took away the cravings, because that's the key with this, y'all. If you're gonna do this, look at this hell bush waiting to cause havoc. If you're wanting to do this, the one key I can give you guys, do not let yourself get hungry, right? Don't let yourself get hungry. If it's been a while since you ate, like when I go home, I got probably like 5 ounces of 80/20 ground beef. I'm going straight home, heating it up and eating it, even if I'm not hungry, y'all. So that's the one key I would give you guys, is don't get hungry on this, y'all. And I think the salt might be important, because this is what I heard too. Like the first 5-7 days, the salt's important, right? Because remember, I dropped 6 pounds that first week. So the salt might be important at that time. But I feel now like I don't really need it. I don't really need it. I feel good. You know, I do feel hungry more than often. I would like that hunger to go away, but it hasn't yet. Like right now, I'm not hungry, but I know when I get home and I sit down, I'm gonna get hungry, y'all. So that's what I'm gonna eat, ground beef. I'm gonna be doing a full day of eating over here for next week's video, plus a 21-day update with you guys. But y'all, this is the longest I've ever gone, you know, eating a diet, right? Not eating junk food. This is the longest I've ever gone in my life. It's been 14 days. That's not that long, right? I had a very bad food addiction, y'all. Very bad. I would say, you know, one of the worst out there. I've had bad food addiction. Every other day I was going to get junk food. Every other day for like 3 years, y'all. Like I said, when I moved out here, I was 205, 210, like in and out, you know, fluctuating from that. And now 2.5 years later, you know, I started at this Carnivore 257. So, you know, I gained over 50 pounds in 2.5 years. So that tells you how bad I've been eating since I've been out here. Now, I've been eating this bad even when I was out in Arizona, but the difference out there was I was in the mountains running every single day, 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles, 7 miles, right? Every day, you know, whatever I'd feel. Some days I'd be like, you know, I just got 1.5 miles in me. I'm just going to do 1 lap on the mountain. And some days I would do 4 laps on the mountains because I was just feeling it. But after I did that running, you know, I'd go to Safeway and get some chicken tenders, some potato wedges, a bag of hot Cheetos, you know, but I was active. So, you know, the weight wasn't piling up on me. But, you know, moving out here and being still, yeah, I gained 50 pounds in 2.5 years, y'all. So, you know, it's been hard to get out here and hike. Like I said, I got cactuses all over, y'all. I'm in the desert. You know, I have an 11-month-old. He's going to be a year old on Wednesday. And then I got a newborn coming in 3 months. So it's kind of hard to get out. I feel bad leaving my woman at home, you know, doing everything. I came out here today when he was taking a nap. So, but yeah, y'all, that's my updates. You know, these past like 3 days, I feel like it kind of turned around. Like, honestly, I was going to quit, y'all. I was like, man, this is supposed to feel good. This is supposed to be This is supposed to be amazing. I'm supposed to be feeling great. It's 14 days in, and I feel like crap, y'all. I feel like I ate hot Cheetos and a hamburger and fries, y'all, and drank beer, right? That's how I was feeling with my gut. But like I said, that ChatGPT, you know, answered a lot of questions for me. It was getting on my nerves because when I first started, it's like days 5 to 7 are the worst. You know, at day 10, you feel a whoosh and you drop weight. Like, don't believe everything it says, because honestly, that was getting me. It was getting me mad, right? ChatGPT was getting me pissed off, you know, because then that day 5 to 7 turned into, you know, 14 days is bad, and then it turns around, right? So there was no end in sight with that. So just be careful with that. But I do think it's a good tool to ask it questions like, why do I feel? Why does my gut feel like I ate, you know, a burger, fries, I drink a 40 ounce, and then I had some hot Cheetos? Like, why does my stomach feel like that? You all know that hungover feeling in your stomach. That's how I was feeling, y'all. So, you know, I asked it, and, you know, it just said your microbiome in your gut's adjusting and getting better. And then, you know what, the next day is better. But it really turned around for me when I lowered my salt intake and lowered my dairy, y'all. That's when it turned around. But like I said, for the first, you know, 7 days or whatever, I suggest you eat, you know, a lot of sodium, because like I said, I dropped 6 pounds that first week. So I was dropping a lot of water weight and all that. So I needed those electrolytes. But now, like, I just drink like a gallon a day, y'all. That's my goal. I drink 3 Stanleys that are 40 ounces. So I drink 40, 80, 120. And then I have, like, first thing in the morning, I chug a big glass of water. And then like after like my third one, I'll just sip on glasses of water. So I have over a gallon of water a day, y'all. So I think that's more than enough for this. But like I said, if there's days where I feel sluggish, if there's days where, you know, my mind feels cloudy or something, I haven't had it yet in these 3 days, I will have a cup of bouillon. No more tahini, because it was giving me heartburn and all that. So, you know, but lately, you know, I haven't had the restroom issue that some people have. Like today, I didn't use the restroom, but I have been going once a day, you know, consistently. But today was the first day that I didn't use the restroom. I tried, it nothing, you know. So, you know, I haven't had that issue. I haven't really had the headache issue. I've had the brain fog. I've had the tired. I've had the wore out. I've had the I don't want to do nothing today, no motivation days. But I've also had great days. Like I said, it's been an up and down roller coaster, y'all. One day is great, the next day is not. So I'm still waiting for it to be consistent. Every day I just feel like a machine, better and better and better. Today I feel better than I did yesterday. I got a lot more energy today. So, you know, things have been going good, y'all. I'm gonna keep giving you guys these weekly updates, shorts throughout the week. Now that I got, you know, 14 days under my belt, I want to start doing you know, a day of eating. Just show you guys me grilling outside. I love to grill, y'all. That's one thing I don't see in the carnivore community. Like, I don't see people grilling their meat. They're always like putting it in the air fryer or in the oven. So that's kind of weird to me. Now, I used to live in an apartment, so I would cook all my meat in the air fryer back in the day. But, you know, there's very successful people out there like doctors and stuff, and they're still air frying their meat. So I don't know. I like to grill my meat. I like to be outside and grilling. So I'll be doing some full days of eating with you guys. When it's time to go grocery shopping again, I'll do a grocery haul with you guys. And because I'm all about budget, y'all. So I hit 3 different stores. You know, I'll get my chicken wings at one store. I'll get my roast at one store, my ground beef at another store. Like, I switch it up. I don't go all to the same place. So I'm very budget friendly, and I can show you guys, you know, little secrets, little tips to do budgets. Like, I made some homemade beef jerky. Bomb, y'all, at Albertsons. Roasts are always on sale at Albertsons. I got a big old 4.5 pound top round roast, and had the butcher cut it up real small, put it in the dehydrator for 4 hours at 160. 4 or 5 hours, I forgot. I think it was 5 hours at 160. Delicious, y'all. Delicious. And that's like, I told my girl, I'll always have jerky in the cabinets, right? If I'm willing, because sometimes those roasts ain't on sale and they're 45 bucks. Like, it was on sale, so I got it for 25 bucks. I told her I kind of want to go back and get another one just for, you know, the next couple weeks so that I have it. But that's one thing, y'all. Learn to make your own jerky. It's very simple. most air fryers nowadays have a dehydrator in it too. And you can go to Albertsons, the butcher will cut it for you. You know, ask Google, you know, temperatures and all that. And it's really good, y'all. It's a really good, healthy jerky. I don't put nothing on it. I put a little bit of liquid smoke. I put some crushed red peppers, pepper, and like some garlic salt or onion powder. Not garlic salt, garlic powder or onion powder. That's it, y'all. Let it marinate overnight. It's good, y'all. It's good, and honestly, it's filling. That jerky fills you up. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's update. If you made it this far, gotta get the thumbnail, y'all. If you made it this far, leave me a like. What day are you on? Let me know down below. What day are you on? Any tips for me, you know, to feel better? Because I cut out the sodium, y'all, and I'm telling you guys, I feel a lot better since cutting out that sodium. I know that's a no-no on here, but I know my body. I know my body. I'm very in tune with my body. You know, I've gotten it all the way up to 270 and I've gotten it all the way down to 195. So I've been all in between that. So I'm very in tune with what I feel, what I put in my body. And that extra sodium, it wasn't no good for me, y'all. So, you know, if you guys got any tips or anything for me, let me know down below. What day are you on down below? And also let me know, are you from my big channel or are you just a new member of the carnivore family? Because I'd really like to know, like, am I reaching people out there in the carnivore community, or are you guys all from, you know, my other 2 channels? Let me know, y'all. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. 14 days down, baby. Later.